Today I want to talk to you all about children in foster care. AFCARS defined foster care as a 24-hour substitute care for children outside their own homes. Okay, close your eyes and imagine for a moment that you are a 6-year-old at home with your parents and family, the only home you know. Then there comes a knock on the door and in walks a stranger person that tells your parents she is here from CPS and that she and the police are here to pick you up and take you away for the abuse and the neglect and the violence that is going on in the home. They take you away with no clothes, no toys, none of your personal things. You are with strangers, and then they bring you to more strangers. But this time they leave you. They are crying, screaming, and confused. Imagine, how would you feel if this was you? In September of 2006, over 1,500,000 children live in foster homes, half of those in non-relative environments. The 1901 White House Conference on Dependent Children stated, "Every child deserves a stable and lasting family life and should not be deprived of it except for urgent and compelling reasons." Consider the number of children abused and neglected each year. It is only appropriate that proper structures be in place to house these children when they are removed from the home. Foster care is a primary source for children displaced from their homes, either looking to live with someone other than their parents permanently, or parents and children are reunited for reunification. There's a great need for foster parenting right now. Families consider opening their hearts and homes to a foster child should acquire special education, social skills, and special training for these kids transition into their homes. The goal of a foster parent is to provide a loving and nurturing and safe environment for that child while he is in distress. The process is a group effort. A foster parent is a support by social workers, physical therapists, educational persons, physicians assigned by the state agency to oversee a child's care and provide intervention in the necessary ways for foster care. Children in foster care live in a variety of placement settings, and many move among or between settings while in care. For example, a child may move from a group home to a relative's home to a non-relative home. There's 46% of the children are placed in non-relative homes, 24% of the children are in relative homes, 10% are in institutions, and 2% of them are just runaways. A child's stay in foster care can vary. Today we have 34% that will stay in foster care for a total of 1 month. 9% have been in care for 36 to 59 months. And 7% have been in care for 5 or more years. Can you imagine being in that child's place, going from home to home? See, foster care children doesn't have a specific face to it. It has many faces. And here are just a handful of some of the faces. 40% are white or non-Hispanic, 32% are black or non-Hispanic, 19% are Hispanic, and 9% are other races or multi-races. There are so many children waiting for adoption. Waiting children are identified as children who are a goal for adoption, which means that their parental rights have already been terminated and they're available to be moved into permanent family homes. The Adoption and Safe Families Act states that if a child are in foster care for 15 or more of the previous 22 months, states are to recommend that the parental rights be terminated and the child be made available for adoption. 54% of these waiting children live in non-relative foster homes. These children end up in non-relative foster home care because no one from that relative will want to take these kids in. The goal for children in foster care is to keep the stay brief and return the child to a safe home in life, whether they're reunification with their family, a guardianship takes them in, or they're adopted. Children placed in foster care have typically been ignored, neglected, abused, and many have emotional and medical or psychosocial issues. It is therefore extremely important these children are not forgotten or lost in the system. With great foster homes or adopted parents, these children can thrive to be successful at whatever the choice to be. Look at a few of our celebrities that were foster children growing up. We have Victoria Rowell, which used to be a dancer and an actress, and she's now got her own foundation called the Rollins Foster Child Positive Plan. She was in foster care at the age of her birth. We have Eddie Murphy, the comedian. He was also in foster care. One thing he stated was his time in foster care was the influence in developing his sense of humor, which made him the comedian he is today. Today, we have Eric LaSalle, which is the Dr. Benson on ER. He, along with a couple of his siblings, was placed in foster care right after he was born. And then we have Cher. Cher was put in foster care at the age of 2 years old. She was a singer and actress. So that goes to say that these children are not forgotten, and if they're not lost in the system and put with a positive family, they can accomplish great and wonderful things in their life. Let me leave you all with my own personal testimony. I've worked with abused and neglected children in a shelter setting. I've seen these children come in straight from the abusive environment, and I tell you, it makes your heart ache, and there's never enough tears. You never get used to it, seeing children that are 4 or 5 years old sexually abused, or a 4-year-old baby in a full body cast because they have been beaten, or a 7-month-old infant that has been burned in his little bitty hands, and the ball is so big that you can't close his hand. Heart-wrenching. I knew I wanted to do more, so I later became a CASA advocate, which gave me the opportunity to be sworn in by a judge and to battle in court for the children. But even after years of that, I still didn't feel I was doing enough. So now I am in the process of becoming a foster parent and later adopt. So now I've told you, how most children feel being ripped from their homes. We talked about the foster care. We've talked about all the important factors that plays into foster care. We talked about how important it is for these children to be adopted into permanent homes so they feel loved and supported and encouraged. I've shown you faces of just a handful of children that are waiting for permanent homes. I've even shown you celebrity stars that were products of great foster homes and adoptive parents, thriving with a great success, all because they have loving parents and families that gave them a second chance. So I hope that this was heavy on your heart as it was on mine. Thank you for your time.